Hello and welcome to BQ Prime. A very good afternoon to all the viewers. I'm Hiral Dadia. Clearly, the bulls are back in action today and we're trading at the day's highest levels as we speak. We've hit a high of 19,538 and a recovery, an up move of almost around 100 points from the day's lowest levels is what we're witnessing. Even in terms of Bank Nifty, gains of almost 1% coming in there. Now, whether this rally is sustainable or not is something we need to wait and watch because it's an interesting move where it's a good rebound that is coming in after the kind of recent slide that we've seen in the markets. Overall, if you see, whether there is a risk of another downgrade from current levels is what we need to understand because the last series, there was a downgrade coming in with the FIs, longs in the system had actually reached extremes along with that PCR OI as well. And after this kind of a formation, we've usually seen a trend which is either led to a consolidation or a price correction. In fact, let's welcome in Shrikant Chouhan to understand more in terms of what's in store. Shrikant, good afternoon and welcome to the show. My first question coming to you is overall, if you see in terms of the current scenario, there is some bit of sell aggression that has continued from the FIIs, and that is an indication that I'm picking up that there is a possible momentum on the downside, specifically if we keep, breaking the support levels. What's the sense that you pick up?
Yeah, good afternoon. If we just go through with the FIS figure, and in just last 10 days, we saw the erosion of nearly 700 points from the highs. And in that, more or less, I think they sold close to 7,000 crores. But if we go through with the figures, which are there from the domestic institutions or from the SIP side, they are more than 15,000 crores. So if we just see any time in the future FIS figure which are more than the SIP figures, then only we can see some major crash in the market or major downward activity in the market. Otherwise, I am expecting market to remain in a range. I'm not expecting market to fall so easily to the extreme level. But yes, in case if the selling continues, then we may see some sideways sort of activity. So we are expecting market to remain between the range of 19,800 and maybe 19,200 on the downside.
So with this said and done, how are you looking at Bank Nifty as well?
Yeah, for Bank Nifty also, see in the previous month also when the FIs invested whatever the net investments in the market, that time also the preferred sector was Bank Nifty. We saw some profit booking in private banks, and there was some selective buying in PSU banks. But when looking at the entire technical pattern and derivative based statistics for Bank Nifty, we are of the view that the Bank Nifty is going to remain within the range of 44,000 and maybe 45,500 on the high side. In case if there is any further more weakness, because see, if FI is really going to sell in this market because of rise in the dollar, because of rise in the dollar in this thing 10-year bond yield, then we are going to see further more weakness for the Bank Nifty. But in the worst case scenario also, we are not expecting Bank Nifty to fall below the levels of 43,500. So maybe from here we can expect some 1,000-point sell-off. But broadly, most of the bank stocks are going to be best bets to buy and hold for the next 6 to 8 months.
Right. Let's actually look at some stock specific action in today's session. If you look at the broader name specific, the large cap name specifically, Cipla seeing a 4% up move. This up move has continued for 2 to 3 consecutive sessions, and the pharma pack is looking pretty strong as well. What should the strategy be with the Cipla?
See, the way Cipla recovered on the day of result, it was around some 1,060. From there, all the way it went to 1,200 rupees in that single day. And the volumes were more than crores. In that, it has crossed previous high also, and it is now into all-time highs. Based on the overall formation and overall volume-based activity, we are expecting, based on technical, stock to move towards 1,400 or 1,450. Based on fundamentals, our target is close to 1,230, 1,240. So which is currently the stock has already achieved. But if we consider the technical pattern, because price knows a lot of things well in advance, right? So if we consider that, then in that case, I'm expecting stock to move towards 1450 or 1500. We should be buyer if there is any correction in the stock. I think now 1100, 1100 is going to act as very good support for it.
Right. How are you looking at a SBI? Because that single-handedly is seeing a lot of pressure post earnings. What are charts indicating with the SBI, Shrikant?
Yeah, today it is down massively, and it is down mainly because of specific disappointment from the result. The results are more or less not that bad, but
Hmm.
because of the expectations, I think the stock is now falling. But now it is very close to its support area of 560, 555. Currently, it is around 570. So, in case if there is any further more weakness, let's say on Monday, then close to 550, 560, we should be buyer in the stock.
Right. So that could be a buying opportunity coming in with regards to where SBI goes. Apart from that, you know, three of the other stocks which are contributing today is HDFC Bank and a Reliance Industries. What do you think should be the strategy with both these names?
I think see HDFC Bank it's still under corrective mode. It is like see now the events are over for the stock. So whenever there is like any event, we see some activity in the stock, and stock tries to follow the broader trend of the market. But now there is hardly any specific news flow, and maybe because of that, I think stock is going to consolidate for a longer time. We are not expecting stock to cross the level of 1700 so easily, but at the same time 1600 is going to act as very good support for it. So in case if there is any correction close to 1600, it will be an opportunity to again invest. But in case if it bounces back to 1700, we need to take some contra bets of going short on the stock. For Reliance Industries, I think yes, there is like already we saw good amount of correction, maybe 40 50 points from 40 50 points more from here on the lower side. The stock is having excellent support. So close to 2450, 2460, the stock is having support. And in case if there is any drop, then there we should be buyer. But at these levels, it is better to stay away.
Right. Shrikant, Dabur is seeing a bullish setup in today's session. What are charts and what is the FNO data indicating?
See, for Dabur, it is still in the range. It has like spent a lot of time between the range of 600 and 530, 500 on the downside. So broadly, if we consider the chart of last 1.5 year, it has not crossed the level of 600. Today also it was very close to 590, 595, but from there all the way now it is back to 560, 569. But based on the technicals, if it crosses 600, then only we can turn bullish. Otherwise, we are expecting stock to spend time within this range.
Right. Names like IndusInd Bank and Axis Bank, it seems that the shorts are getting covered on both these names, right? Uh, do you think this is the time to now enter?
See, for both these banks, our view is that they are very close to their resistance level. Like for Axis, IndusInd Bank, the resistance is around 1430, 1415. So we are not expecting IndusInd Bank to cross that level and to perform better than the market. For Axis Bank also, the stock actually fallen to the levels of 900 when there was specific news. I mean to say after the quarterly numbers, but if it crosses 1000, the level of 1000, then only we can expect some technical breakout. Otherwise, we are expecting stock to remain in a range.
Shrikant, how about a Federal Bank and a Loris Laboratories? Because both these counters are also seeing some good short covering in trade today.
Yeah, for Federal Bank, I think the stock is doing much better. It was very close to 120 levels before the announcement of the quarterly numbers, but from there all the way it recovered back to 134, 135. Previously, also, when there was like activity, the stock rallied a lot, and now it is consolidating. So after the completion of the consolidation, we are expecting stock to move towards 160 or 165. So we are fairly bullish on the stock, and if there is any correction, even at current levels, also it's a buy. But for Divi's Laboratories, I feel it is now very close to its resistance level, and it has spent a lot of time close to these levels since last almost 1.5 years. So since last 1 year, if you see the pattern, whenever the stock moved to 3750, we saw some profit taking. So we need to see that whether the stock crosses this level or not. But other stocks like Cipla, Sun Pharma, uh, uh, I'm going to say even Lupin Laboratories, they are doing much better than the Divis Laboratories.
Right. Apart from that, let's look at few of the other names like a BHEL where you are seeing short positions being built. But what's the trend indicating with the BHEL, Shrikant?
See, the broader pattern and the broader trend for the stock is much better as compared to the trend that we saw in the past. This time the stock was like consistently into uptrend from the levels of almost 70, 75. But now after hitting the crucial levels or maybe extreme levels of 105 and there is a correction in the market, we are seeing some correction. But broadly, we are of the view that the stock is heading for the levels of at least 130, 135. It is purely based on technicals because the stock is crossing all its important resistance level without any major efforts. But in the past, if you see the stock, then whenever the stock came to its resistance level, we saw a good amount of correction. But this time that correction is not there. Also, if we go through with the FI's activity of last 1 month, then they invested heavily into capital goods and infra companies. Broadly, we are of the view that it's a buy at current levels 98, 99, and if there is any correction furthermore, let's say up to 95, 96, one should be buyer with a target of 130, 145, and one can keep stop loss somewhere close to 90 for holding any trading long positions.
Right. Shrikant, apart from the names that we've discussed, anything that comes to your radar, which could be great buying opportunities?
Yeah, I think see in this market, we are seeing good amount of buying attraction for even cement companies. And in that, Ultratech cement, which is currently around 8,200, it is following to the range. It is not crossing the level of 8,500. It is not falling below the levels of 8,000. But the way there is strength in all the cement companies, we are of the view that at these levels, we should be buyer with a minimum target of 8,500 and in the best case scenario 8,800. The reason is because whenever there is like activity in the market and we see Nifty like starts moving to the next level, we see good amount of buying attraction in all the large cap companies. And at least at these levels, we need to be more and more stock specific. So Ultratech cement looks good at current levels. With a target of 8,500, we can keep stop loss at 8,000 for holding any trading long positions. Uh, Also, if we go through with the bank sector, then in that PSU banks specifically, they are doing really well. No doubt, right now we are seeing some correction, but it is an opportunity for buying some stocks like Canara Bank, which is close to some 330, 325 levels. There we are expecting stock to move towards 370 or 75 in the near term, but in the long run, we may even see the levels of 450. So there is like decent upside that we are expecting from the Canara Bank also. So these are the two or three stocks on which we are specifically bullish. Apart from that, if we want to take any contra call, then I think from the IT space, Tech Mahindra is the stock to buy for. The stock is crossing almost all its important level, and based on the formation, I think it is heading for 1250. At current levels, 1170, 75, we should be buying.
Right. So these are a few of the names that one should be watching out for. Thank you, Shrikant, so much for joining us on the show and sharing the views. So a lot of, counters that could be in focus, and cement is an interesting space to watch out for as well. But clearly, the Bears are in full form in today's session. But whether they continue this kind of action next week is going to be interesting to watch out for, because in the domestic markets as well, we do have the monetary policy that is slated. The earnings season is going thinner by the day. But clearly, names like Cipla, which are standing out today, a 4% up move. SPI is under pressure, and that is mainly on the back of the slippage number that is way above what the street was estimating. On a sequential basis, the slippages have almost doubled for the PSU. Moving on, if you see in terms of other newsmakers as well. Clearly, the Sensex up 500 points. Nifty above the 19,500 mark, and it's mainly the IT stocks which are providing some good amount of support in today's session. Auto has been a drag. Zomato, IRFC, SBI, Infosys, and HDFC Bank are a few of the other names which are really active in trade today. That's all that we have on this session. Thanks for watching, and have a great weekend.